Hey, you guys. My name is Tamora Johnson, and you are watching Let's Talk About It with Raheem Mitchell.
Let's talk about it. Say I just heard about a show. Let's talk about it, talk about it. Where the independent artists go. Let's talk about it, talk about it. Niecy got a new EP. Let's talk about it, talk about it. Stephanie's doing comedy. Let's talk about it, talk about it. That girl from LA and that guy. Let's talk about it, talk about it.
And now your host of Let's Talk About It, Raheem Mitchell.
Hello, and welcome to Let's Talk About It. I am your host, Raheem Mitchell. Thank you for tuning in. And I want to say happy holidays to everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, our guest today is author and marriage advocate, Miss Tamora Johnson. Welcome to the show, Ms.
Thank you. Thank you.
How are you doing?
I'm amazing. I am amazing. I'm wonderful. I'm awesome.
That's it?
All those great things. That's me.
All right. Now, the last time we were together, we were at the Books and Brunch 2021, where you were the mistress of ceremony. And let me tell you, you did an outstanding job.
Oh, to God be the glory.
Yes,
but
ma'am.
Thank you.
Yeah, and everybody was like, because I was speaking to the people in the audience, man, Tamora, she's awesome. Tamora's this, Tamora's that. So I want you to tell us about yourself. Who is Tamora Johnson?
Sure thing. It's so funny because when people ask that question, who are you, oftentimes, and I've said this before, oftentimes we tell what we do and not really who we are.
Yes.
And because there is a difference, right?
Exactly.
And what I had to learn in talking about who I am, which can be sometimes a very thin line, but I had to think about if I am defining myself as what I do or my titles, I've lost a couple of titles, right? I'm a married woman. Yeah, well, I'm divorced now. So does that water down who I am because I'm no longer married and I can't say that that's who I am. So when I think about, okay, who is Tam? Tam is a woman of integrity. She is a woman that cares. I'm passionate about what I'm passionate about, right? I'm a God-fearing woman. I am understanding. That's who I am. What I do is something completely different, but who I am actually helps me in the areas of the things that I do. It helped me to do it in a certain way.
Yes, and that is the best answer I have ever heard.
It took me a while.
Yes, ma'am.
Trust me. I went to a leadership class with one of my mentors, Miss Natalie Owens, and that was one of the questions. And we rambled off all of what we did. And she said, oh, okay. So I said, who are you, not what do you do, right? And that made me think. And even some time after that, I still was defining myself according to what I did. It wasn't until a few years ago where I said, Tam, that's not who you are, because yes, you work for the LA County Sheriff's Department, but when you retire, now what? And your children, you are a mother that is taking them to basketball practice, dance practice, and when they're grown and gone, okay, now what, right? You're a leader in church. When you're no longer leading in that area at church, now what? So who are you, not what do you do?
Exactly.
So different.
Exactly. Wow. Yes, that is so very true. And that's something I'm gonna put back in.
We have to think about
so
it.
I can think about that. Yes. In your new book, Life After the Deed, which you describe as a devotional for women who have gone through or going through a divorce, you state that there are 3 stages of being whole. Please tell us and take us through them. Number 1 is coping.
Yeah. So I had to look in the mirror at myself when I said, okay, Tam, what are some of the stages that you have to go through in order for you to be healed and whole, right? Because many times we talk about just being healed, which is more of the surface thing. But when we're talking about being whole, we're talking about the inner. We're talking about how you respond to some of the things, right? Which will give us an idea if the person is whole or not, or just healed, right? And so when we talk about coping, I want us to understand that there is a healthy way of coping and an unhealthy way of coping. Our healthy way of coping, let me go back. Our unhealthy way of coping is, I know where I'm at. I know my location with this divorce process, right? But I am trying to cover it up with the stuff. I want to get the weave. I want to, get the clothes. I want to, go get more degrees. All of these things to help me ignore or not really tap into where I really am. Right. That's the unhealthy way, right? Okay. The healthy way is saying, this is where I am. I am either going in, I'm in it, or coming out of divorce. Right. These are the emotions that are attached to what I'm going through. But guess what? I can still wear my weave. Yeah. I can still put on my clothes. I can still do all of those things. So I want us to understand that you can still have all of those things. I just think it's so important for us to understand that tapping into where we're at and actually addressing and labeling that emotion is what's going to help us get to the other side of the door, which is healing and wholeness.
Okay. So let's go ahead and explain the healing and recovery.
Absolutely. So healing, I think about when we go to the hospital and we are admitted in the hospital and they ask us our level of pain and they put us on an IV, right? Yes. And at the highest level of pain, that's, they have it up high. They have the IV turned up high. But as we begin to heal, right, they begin to turn it down. Yeah. They turn it down until you're able to go without, right? And then once you are released from the hospital, right, they may sometimes give you medicine and say, take as needed, or take twice a day. I think about healing from a divorce in that manner, right? There's a level of pain that may start at a 10, and we're going to put it on a scale of 1 to 10. Yes. There's a level of pain that you may start at a 10 with, right? And as the days go by and you give yourself permission, because that's key, give yourself permission to say, this is where I'm at, but how am I going to deal with this? Whether it's going to counseling, prayer, connecting with people who have gone there, been there, whatever it is that you need to do. But there's definitely some steps that we have to take in order for us to heal and begin to bring that pain level down, right? Once the pain level is down and we feel like we're good and we're ready to step into recovery, we have to understand that there's a maintenance package that's necessary to have. And that's when the doctor sends us home with the medicine and say, take as needed. So when we're moving from the healing process to recovery and giving ourselves permission to discover who we are, who we've always been, right? Because oftentimes we put who we are on the shelf when we say I do, because no one has shared or showed us how to continue to be that woman that we are, or the man, but that woman that we are, and it's going to be effective in the marriage. Sometimes we're not told that. So we lose who we are. We may not go to work anymore. So now those practices that are no longer a part of us. So when we recover, we're recovering so we can discover that there is life after divorce, and you can live it loud. And what does living loud after divorce mean? It definitely means that I can still be who God created me to be before I said I do. I can still love myself. I can still and not feel guilty, right? I don't have to feel bad. I don't have to feel like I'm a failure. I don't have to feel like because I am a divorced woman, there's this plague on me. No, this just really gave me an opportunity to tap more into myself and realize the greatness that I have in me, and use the experience from the marriage, the relationship, use that. The things that work, keep it. The things that do not work, get rid of it.
Yeah, that's right. It's just like editing the film.
Yeah.
You put all the pieces that work. That piece don't work. That piece got to go.
That's right.
Yeah. I was at a friend of mine's, speaking about, just piggyback on what you were saying. I was at a friend of mine's, my barber's wedding, a couple weeks ago. And the preacher was telling them both, okay, although you two are married, don't lose yourself.
Yeah.
So always know, stay yourself, because that's what attracted you two to each other.
Yes.
Don't change who you are, but stay true to yourself and remember who you are in the marriage.
That's
not
so key.
I'm the man, I'm the wife. Just remember who self is.
That's so key because oftentimes we do that because no one has told us that we don't have to do that, right? No one has told us that we can still be who we were before we said I do. And just like you said, that's what attracted him or her to you, right? Those things that you are now setting aside, it's compartments to this thing, right?
Yes.
So in this individual compartment, I still have to be the woman that I am outside of the wife, outside of the mother, right? I am still happy, healthy, whole, and a healed woman aside from I am a wife. That comes with a lot, being a wife. And so learning how to, and I don't use the word balance anymore. My sister, she taught me some things about that, but I don't use balance. I use harmony, right? So learning how to harmonize as just Tam and a wife, Tam the wife, right? Was a struggle for me. As a matter of fact, I didn't perfect it, right? I'm just perfecting it as a single woman, as a divorced woman, right? And as you say, I'm a marriage advocate, and some folks say, well, how is she a healthy marriage advocate, yet she's talking about divorce?
You didn't stay yourself.
I want to stay myself,
there
right?
You go.
And so back to what you were saying about that individual thing. So our mission in Make It Rise, which is my business, is to create a movement where we're changing the view of how society has defined marriage, right? But I'm a firm believer that before I can be a great wife, I have to be a great woman, right? So if you are divorced and your plan or you think you may want to one day get remarried, it's important for you to work on the individual person, right? Before you work on the group, the couple, the union. You have to work on who you are and know who you are and whose you are before you step into that other compartment of life.
That's true. And saying that, it reminds me, because I am a big India Irie fan. I love her music.
I do too.
And it's this song that she says, going too fast. You're trying to hurry up and get rid of the past, and you're going to. I don't want to mess up her lyrics, but she said, "Slow down, you're moving too fast. You trying to do something about running from your past and trying to make the future better." So she's saying, take care of what's been happening in the past. That's what she said. You're running from your future. You know, you're running for the future to get away from your past. But that's something you have to deal with, because
you have to.
It's in your past, but you still have to deal with that.
Yeah, because it's become a part of who you are and how you think now, and your responses, and sometimes. And you've heard women say all men are dogs, right? Well, they didn't just wake up one morning and say that. They said that because they've been cheated on. Right? So now that's a new definition for them, which I will say is a lie, right? How many men have you dealt with? I mean, all of them are dogs? That's the way I feel. Like, no, we can't say that. We can't put that on them, because I don't like to hear a man say that all women are gold diggers. Right? I'm a gold digger, not a gold digger, right?
I understand.
So I don't think it's fair, but you definitely have to deal with what happened, right? So that you can create space for what's going to happen. Right? Because if I am still boggled down with all of this back here without learning a lesson from it, then I can't move forward up here in a healthy way. I can move forward, but I mean in a healthy way where I can continue to move and thrive, and that's the goal. We want to thrive.
That's true. You want to thrive and do better. Yes. What would you say is the most important advice that you can offer your readers that you wish someone had offered to you?
Ooh, that's a good one. That is a good one. And I say this particular thing a lot because I'm so focused on self-discovery. So I'll say, I wish someone told me to stop looking out of the mirror and at him and other people, and stop looking out the window at him and look in the mirror at myself. So, AKA, do the work on you. What is it that you can do to make you a better you, right? And then everyone that's attached to you as a result will be better, right?
Right.
Many times we don't realize the power that we hold in our hands, right? And the power comes with just our walk. It doesn't come with all of this. Just walk it, right? Be what you want to see, right? Be a better me, so that he or whoever can be a better person, right? As a result of seeing the example. Right. So if I could give advice to anyone that read my book, I'd say, remember to look in the mirror and not out the window, because we'll continue to complain and say he could have, she could have, they could have, why didn't? No. But when we look at ourselves, which is sometimes a hard view, right? It's like, ooh, because oftentimes we look in the mirror and we're looking at just the surface, and oh God, I need to get my eyelashes done, or I need my eyebrows on, my hair, my this, my that, right? No. Go ahead and do that. But now I want you to look within, right? Because it's the stuff, as my mentors say, the stuff and not the stuff that is going to create a better you.
Yes, because if you have good stuff on the inside, then good stuff is going to come out.
It's going to come out, right.
On the outside.
Yeah.
Yes. When I was telling people at work that I was coming to interview you about divorce, and I was like, do you guys have any questions?
Okay.
And all these guys and these women were like coming at me with all these questions and ask her this, ask her that.
I love it.
It was just it was like, wow. I wish I had her here with me.
Man, I do
so
too.
Oh man, I was like, okay. I said, all right, okay. But it's just one that stuck out the most.
Okay.
And it was from this girl.
Okay.
And she was like, well, you know what, Raheem? She said when she knew that the divorce was going to happen, she asked herself, what is it that she can do to, because she said she was always taking responsibility for this, responsibility for that. So she was saying, how would she move on from always feeling like she was the victim, or she was the one, like every time something happened, okay, that was my fault, I should have did this, although it was his fault. She said she was taking most of the blame for what he was doing, because she said being a wife, she wanted to support him. So she was like, how do I get out of that shell, or out of that mold? Because she said she sees herself doing this further on. So that's something she wanted me to ask. And if maybe you can answer that question, I can take it back to her.
Absolutely. And so she's divorced?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So it is an inner thing, right? It's that pleasing, wanting to please. It's that wanting to make sure things are right. It's the wanting to serve, right? And that is what we should be doing. We should be serving. So I want to say, let's tap into the positive in that. Yes. She has a heart to serve her king.
Yes.
She has a heart to make things right. She has a heart to, she knows how to, everything doesn't have to be brought up. She has that heart. However, when it's putting you or the relationship, the marriage, in a position to where now it's becoming resentment, because I am just going along with stuff just for the peace, but now I'm in pieces, that becomes a problem, right? And it doesn't become a problem there, it becomes a problem here first, because you know better, because you're telling yourself, if she's having this conversation, she's told herself, I know that this is not my fault, but I'm going to go ahead and take the rap so we can get along, so that we can go to the basketball game, so that I can get this purse. So we do it often, right? And so it's funny that you say that, because my online course actually goes deep into how to remove those emotions, those feelings, those thoughts of that blame. It goes deep into that. It's an online course called Reclaiming Peace Within the Pieces. Okay. And so I definitely would love to speak with her deeper into that, because many times we ask a question, it's very surface, right? It's very surface. So somebody will tell her, girl, let it go, move on, right? It's not that easy. It's not that easy when it's a seed that has been planted in you. So who planted the seed and who began to water it? Now it's time for us to pluck up the plant that began to grow, right? Remove the dirt, the soil, right? And then remove everything that's around and on that seed, so that we can plant a new seed. So she needs a new seed planted, and then take the steps to watering it so that she doesn't have that, what she's having right now, even as a divorced woman.
Okay. Well, I will definitely let her know that, and I'll tell her about your course and
Yes,
have her check it out and see what happens.
absolutely.
And it was this other girl. She was saying that divorce is not an option.
Ooh,
So
she's married.
she's married.
Okay.
And I was telling her about you. She saw the episode, the previous one you did with
Okay.
the policies and procedure of marriage.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
She saw that one, and I told her I'm interviewing the same beautiful lady and everything.
Okay.
And she was like, oh no. Divorce is
Not an option.
is not an option. Divorce is out of the question.
Okay.
So I was saying, well, is that something that you truly believe in your heart, or is that something that, 'cause back in the days, our mother, our grandmothers and our
Yeah.
grandfathers was like,
Oh yeah.
we can't do that.
work
we
it
can't
out.
do this. You work it out. So
Yeah.
what is your opinion on that, and how would you
Yeah.
answer that?
Ooh, I want you to tell her that I said.
That you said.
I said
Okay.
divorce is an option.
Uh-huh.
The question is, what do you choose to pick from the options that you have?
Right.
There's a table that says counseling. It has divorce. It has don't talk for a few days. There's a lot of options. Divorce is an option. The thing is, what are you choosing from the options that you have?
Right.
I used to say divorce wasn't an option.
Okay.
I'm divorced.
Right.
It was an option
Right.
that we took.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So it's always an option.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Doesn't
That's
mean
true.
that you're going to choose it,
No.
but it's definitely an option.
Yes.
God gives us options. Freedom of choice, right?
Right.
He doesn't force us to be saved. He doesn't force us to believe in him. He doesn't force us to. He put the information out there to back up his plan, what he said, right?
Right.
Here it is. Make a choice.
That's it.
Tell the sister, there it is. You're making a choice not to do that. And that's great, but it's definitely an option.
Right. Whew. I was sure enough let her know. So what is next for Miss Tamora Johnson?
Woo! So I am actually working more on my speaking engagements. My online course will be open starting January. And then I'm not really doing any more books right now.
Okay.
The talk show that I have, Let's Be Clear, working on that, but I'm really, really focusing on the online course and speaking engagements. Okay. Yeah, and mentoring and counseling divorcees.
Okay. So previously we were speaking about, now the show that we were speaking about earlier about with the gentleman.
Yes.
Is that the Let's Let It Be Clear? Or
Let's Be Clear.
Okay. So let's
Yes.
explain to everybody
Yeah.
what that's about.
Yes.
And what our plans
Yeah.
to make that happen.
Absolutely. So Let's Be Clear has been running every other week for over a year now.
Yes.
And it's been live on YouTube. And we started out with couples.
Right.
So it was all couples, or maybe a wife, maybe a husband, but it definitely was related to marriage, helping the viewers understand that it's not just you. They go through things like, he cheated, I accept it, we're back in this thing, right? Other people need the example. I believe that sometimes our transparency is someone's road to recovery, right? So we ran those type of topics for I would say 8 to 9 months, and then God put me in a different vehicle with this divorce.
Right.
And he said, now you need to do the thing that not many people want to do, and that's talk about divorce. And not that you're advocating for divorce, because my question to God was, but I'm a marriage advocate. You know, people are going to think that I'm advocating for divorce. And he says, he asked me, what is the vision for the business again? And I had to remind myself, creating a movement where we're changing the view of how society defines marriage. He says, does the marriage start with the couple or does it start with the individual? I said the individual. He says, okay, now let's back up a little bit, right? He showed me in this vehicle how we still would get to that goal of a healthy, happy, healed marriage.
Yes.
But it starts with the individual. So if I am speaking to those who have gone through divorce or is divorced, I am helping them understand who they are before stepping into a new relationship or a new marriage, right? So now that we're talking about divorce and life after divorce, and me writing my second book, my fourth book, Life After Divorce, the anthology, with 11 other women who said, you know what, I'm willing to tell a piece of my story and share my journey to becoming healed and whole. Now that we are there, that's what the show has been about. Just people who are attempting to be healed and attempting to be whole. And what does that look like, right? So all of my guests have shared their position in that. Coming January, February, I'm doing the men's edition.
Right.
And I'm excited about that because not many men really open up and talk about their experience with anything that's emotionally attached, right?
Right.
Because society has said you shouldn't, because if you do, you're a punk, right?
Right.
So these men that I have coming on are going to talk about, you know, their experience with divorce and how they got through and past. A couple of them are remarried.
Right.
3 of them are remarried, and that speaks volumes to me.
Yes, it does.
So I'm excited, and you and I were talking about, you know, kind of connecting, because you're a man too, right?
Yeah, that's it.
You're a man too.
Yeah.
And so I'm just excited about where God is taking just the movement of my business, of Make It Rise. The movement is bigger than I could even imagine. Yes. I just stand available to it.
That's it. Mm-hmm. Okay, you brought a couple of your books. We want to let us know the books and explain to each of them, because you told me one is different than the other.
Yes.
You can explain it and take us through each one.
Absolutely.
So I can understand exactly where you're speaking.
Yes, so Life After the D, divorce. Life After the D, she said, he said.
Right.
So she said it's me, of course. He said it's God.
Right.
So this is maybe about 12, there's 12 entries from my journal writing when I was going through divorce. Mm-hmm. Me talking to God pretty much, but complaining. Right. Like, why me? Why this? How that? You know, all these questions. Mm-hmm. And there was a little time after where he'd always respond. This is how I know that this was a God-ordained book, because he'd always respond directly to what it is that I was complaining about. I put his responses in this book as well, right? Okay. And then I give the reader an opportunity at the end of the chapter to write their emotions related to what I said, right? I want them to tap into and feel it, because it's okay. Right? Yes. It's okay to feel that emotion. It's okay to tap in and say, this is where I'm at, but then go back after doing some research and some healing and writing where you're at that time. So this book is amazing. They're both amazing, but this book is amazing. I even have a chapter in here where my children wrote where they were when they first learned that we were about to go through divorce, and then the aftermath, where they're at today. And it's amazing how they expressed their feelings and their emotions from both sides. And that's for the woman who is saying, but my kid is going to, and she's not going to do this, or they're not going to do that. The kids will be fine. I need you to be what you want to see. If you want them to walk through this thing in a healthy manner, I need you to be what you want to see, right? So that's what this one is. And then Life After Divorce is an anthology. As I said earlier, there were 11 other women, co-authors, who joined arms with me and shared a piece of their story. It's not male bashing. It's not talking about, you know, their particular relationship or anything like that. They give a little piece of it, but the goal is to share that there is a journey to becoming healed and whole. Right. And this is where I'm at in the journey. And if I can do it, sis, so can you.
Right. Is there someone's story in there in particular you would like to share with us?
Well, I'll share mine. Okay.
That'd be fine.
Because I know it off the top of my head.
Okay.
So, my story, I talk about, I was in church and we were about to do communion. Right. I've never let the cup pass me, ever. Okay. I've always taken communion, right? But I listened to my pastor say every first Sunday, if you plan to go out and sin, if you plan to do this, don't do it. You're drinking, that's damnation, right? And I knew that I was still married, but I knew that I was not going to have sex with my husband anymore. Okay. I refused, right? But I also believed what the word said, your body is no longer yours, right? It's his. Okay. So for me, that is a straight up sin, and I'm wrong for it. So I let the cup pass by, but I felt horrible.
Right.
I felt horrible because A, I wanted to take communion, but B, I knew that as a wife, I wasn't going to do what I was called to do, one of the things that I was called to do.
Right.
And it was shortly after that that God showed me, but I released you. You didn't just say I'm getting a divorce. You went through the process of getting approval. I released you. You're good. But my heart in that is what was blessed, right? The obedience to that is what was blessed. So what I had to do in that instance, in that situation, is hone into my relationship with God a little more, so that I could hear Him, which would help me heal and become whole as I went through my divorce.
Wow. I see why you are such an excellent, just, whew. It's you sitting here, it's like I'm being counseled.
Wow.
And I'm not even going through it before. But I'm like, okay. It's like it just seems like you speak volumes of just everything around and connected to what your book is about. And that's totally awesome.
Thank you.
And I love to hear you speak so much.
Thank you.
Oh my God! I mean, it's like I'm saying, I'm always going to go back to the books and brunch, because I remember you were saying you're a public speaker. The first time I interviewed you, you were telling me you were a public speaker, you're an author, you're an advocate, and just all these things. I'm like, oh, okay. But when I actually seen you started speaking at the books and brunch, and I'm sitting there, and we're filming it, and I'm just staring, and in my ear, my editor was telling me, zoom in a little bit. Zoom in. I want to tie it on her. And I didn't hear a word he was saying, because I was so focused on what you were talking about.
Okay.
And then I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
And it was just the after effect.
Wow.
I'm like, wow. So
I'll say this, and I'll say this to anyone who know that they are supposed to be in a lane. It takes practice, but it takes you being open and available to hearing what people say. You need to not do that as much, do more of that, right? And then be hard. I'm critical on myself, so I'll look at some video footage and like, ooh, I don't even like the way that sound, right? So I'm just available to God. I want to serve and I want to please Him before I please the people. And I know if I'm pleasing Him, then I'm good.
Yes.
I'm good. And I roll with that. But I appreciate, everything that you said. That is very encouraging.
Yes.
It's very encouraging because, as I said, I want to do more of it in 2022.
That's it. And it was just, you can tell by, how can I say this? You can tell when a person want to be somewhere and speaking, because your emotions don't lie.
Yeah.
No matter, you can be like, yeah, I love you too. Or,
Right.
But you had the biggest, brightest, beautiful smile up there, just talking. Every time you came up there, you had a smile on your face. And it wasn't a mask. You know how some people put the smile mask on?
Yes.
But it still showed, because you have a little kink in the mask. But it wasn't no mask. You were just so... and you was like, we're going to invite the Holy Spirit in, and it was just like, man, like I say, it was amazing.
Thank you.
So, and now I'm saying that it's amazing, and I want to make sure that my viewers and everybody else get a chance to understand what I'm talking about. So please let them know where they can get your books, how they can get in touch with you if they want you to come out and do a speaking engagement, or just whatever, please.
Absolutely. So I can be reached everything from my website, Tamora Johnson, Tamora, Johnson, common spelling, JOHNSON.net. On there, you'll find links to purchase the books. You'll find links to book me as a speaker. You'll find a section where if you just wanted to get on my calendar to talk, we can do that as well. So everything that you need, the hub is on my website. I'm also on Instagram at Make It Rise. I'm on Facebook under Make It Rise and YouTube under Make It Rise.
Oh, Okay.
Yeah.
So now, this is something that most viewers might want to know. So, and I'm already knowing it's going to be you talking to the people.
Yeah.
But you know how sometimes when some people say, "Go there, say something," I will respond, and sometimes it might not be that particular person.
No, it's
so
me.
just let them know that it's you.
It is me.
It's not somebody you just pushed in front of the computer and say,
Right.
"Okay, answer that question" when they say something.
Right.
So
No.
just let them know that it's you.
Yeah.
It's not nobody else, and just share that with them.
It's definitely me. I'm very genuine. I am very passionate about what I do. I don't want anyone to go before me, to speak for me, because I could speak for myself. My pastor has been one of the biggest influences for me, where he don't go through his secretary.
Right.
Like, you can call him directly. That's big for me, right?
Right.
Because I'm not about titles. I'm not, because I'm a pastor, I'm a this, I'm a that. You got to go through. Let's see what. No. Come straight to me.
Yeah.
And that's who I am. So when you email me, when you call, when you text, it's Tam.
Okay.
It's Tam.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here.
Yeah.
Whenever you go to her, you're going to get Tam. You're not going to get nobody else. And I want to thank you, Miss Tam. Tam now. I'm
Yes,
going to start
Tam.
calling you Tam
My
now.
friends call me Tam. You're my friend now, so
Okay.
call me Tam.
All right, Tam. I want to thank you for coming on the show
Yeah.
and sharing all your wisdom and knowledge.
you.
And
Thank you for having
hopefully,
me.
Always. I told you, whenever you have something, let's talk about it.
Absolutely.
Every time. This is a platform for you. Whenever you have something, or even if you don't have something, even if you have an idea
Okay.
and you want to come on and listen, we can talk about it.
Okay.
We can talk about it and we can work it out and figure out what happens.
All right.
Because we know
I'm
we
going
can
to hold
make
you to that.
Yeah, we can always make something happen. Trust me.
Yeah.
We can make it happen. But I want to say to my viewers, thank you very much for tuning in. I want to tell everybody that, hey, have a safe and blessed holiday. And remember, don't share your 8x10 dream with somebody with a 5x7 mind. My name is Raheem Mitchell. I'll see you next week. God bless. Peace. Once again, my guest, my big sis, Tam. That's it. That's what I'm going to start calling her.
Thank you.
Big sister Tam right here.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Peace.
Let's talk about it, talk about it. Let's talk about it, talk about it. Talk about it. Let's talk about it, talk about it. Talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. That girl from LA and that guy.